It can't be emphasized enough. You can and you should apply early action at the same time as you're applying early decision. That is the topic of today's video. My name is Craig Meister. I'm a college admissions coach. You can learn more about me and how you can work with me one-on-one throughout the entire college admissions process on my website, which is collegemeister.com. And if you're interested in learning about whether or not you are or your student is on track for selective college admission in the United States of America, visit areyouontracktogetin.com. Again, that's areyouontracktogetin.com, at which you will complete a free 3-minute assessment. Your results will be emailed to you right away, and they will help you clarify whether or not you are or your student is on track for selective college admission in the United States of America. So many students hyper focus on their early decision one choice, the school they're going to apply to on November 1 or by November 1. That is their dream school. And they spend so much time either deciding which school to apply to early decision and or preparing their application to this early decision school that they really allow it to dominate basically July through October of their senior year in high school. And so what I find subsequently is that many students, very high achieving students, are applying to one early decision school by a November 1 deadline. So they hope to hear by the middle of December that they've gotten into that school. And then maybe if we're lucky, they'll apply to maybe one other school concurrently, early action. Many early action schools also have November 1 deadlines. Early action is non-binding, whereas early decision is binding. So if you get into a college early decision, you're going to that college, basically. I mean, there are a couple of loopholes you can get out of it, but basically when you apply early decision, you're applying because you're committing yourself to go to that school. Early action is non-binding. And there are a lot of really great early action options out there. And of course, many students applying early decision do not get in early decision. So it's nice to have other options in early, especially if you don't get into your dream or number one school. But again, what I find is many students, after doing this almost 20 years, they've not been around the block nearly as much as I have. So I can speak from experience when I say, please, student, make sure that if you're applying to college X early decision, that you're also applying to college Y and Z and maybe A, B, and C early action at the same time, even if it's the same deadline, so that in the event things don't work out for your early decision 1, and in the event you don't ultimately decide to apply to a college that offers early decision 2, hopefully you'll start hearing some positive news from colleges that you apply to early action. Sometimes early action colleges, of course, are giving out decisions at a similar time frame that early decision colleges are giving out decisions mid-December, late December. But other early action colleges don't give their decisions out until maybe January or early February. And that's, of course, not nearly as early decision notifications will come out, but it's still earlier than regular decision notifications will come out. And it's still far preferable than applying to similar colleges' regular decision, because many of those colleges' regular decision plans will have far lower acceptance rates than their early action plan. So my moral to the story is this: do not forget that you have to see the forest through the trees. And that while I definitely encourage you to put 110% of yourself into your early decision application, that should also not be an excuse for you not to also be applying to college's early action at the same time. Because you're doing yourself a huge injustice if you only apply to one early decision school and then all of the other colleges on your list are regular decision. It may make you feel good in the moment that you give yourself a couple more months to complete applications, but let's be frank, November and December are months that you should be doing other things like getting the highest grades you've ever earned in high school. In some cases, you're even finishing up testing, but even if you're done testing, you should be enjoying your last year with your friends. You're in high school. You should be enjoying Thanksgiving with your family. You should be enjoying winter break with your family. A lot of other sort of seasonal things start happening in November and December that can distract you from applications. Plus, do you really think you're going to be in the right frame of mind on December 15th to write or complete applications to regular decision schools if you've just gotten deferred or rejected from your early decision school? No, you are not going to be in the right frame of mind. So your goal should be, in all cases, to complete as many of your applications to the highest standard possible as early in your senior year as possible, or maybe even before the first day of senior year starts or 12th grade year starts. Obviously, that's a very big ask for many students, but especially the student who's obsessing over his or her early decision option and spending weeks, if not months, perfecting that application. But you gotta turn up the horsepower a little bit here, because you want to be done at the highest level possible, with the highest quality possible, all of your applications as soon as possible. And if you do that, you really give yourself the best shot of getting into as many of them as possible, because if you don't end up getting into early decision school, then you want options. You need options, and you ideally want options that are not regular decision options, but A, because you're going to have to wait longer to receive them, but B, in many cases, the regular decision plans are the ones with the lowest acceptance rate. So you're just shooting yourself in the foot if you wait to apply to all the other colleges on your list regular decision, when you could front load that and get a lot of early action notifications anywhere between as early as theoretically November, but definitely December through early February, and you're going to be a leg up in terms of acceptance rate, but you're also going to be a leg up compared to your friends who are waiting a whole nother, in many cases, month, maybe month and a half to receive admissions decisions from said schools. The vast majority of early action schools allow you to apply to them at the same time as you're applying to a school early decision. There are only basically a handful of schools, 7 schools or so, 7 schools or so, that are restrictive early action in one way, shape, or form. And those are the big schools like Stanford, Yale, Princeton, Harvard, and, to some extent, of course, Georgetown and Notre Dame. Basically all the other early action schools have no restrictions, and all of the early decision schools have no restrictions. So you can apply to Penn early decision at the same time as you're applying to Miami early action, Maryland early action, Michigan early action, UNC early action, UVA early action, Indiana early action, Wisconsin early action. What are you doing just putting all your eggs in the basket of Penn when you could be getting into all those other schools within a month or two of when you hear from Penn? And if you hear negative news from Penn, you want to hear happy news sometime in the winter and not in the late spring or mid-spring. So please be wise about having early action options coming in at the same time or close to the same time as you get your early decision notification, so that if the early decision notification is not happy news for you, you can start racking up the wins and have some other options to seriously consider well before the very condensed timeline of, let's say, late March through May 1 to make a decision. You'll have a couple more months to really ponder your evolving options. And you'll also probably get into more schools, because the early action admissions rates are typically anywhere between a little bit higher to a lot higher than those same schools' regular decision acceptance rates. So please, please, please see the forest through the trees and make sure that you don't put all your eggs in one basket. Because early action can be your friend. I haven't even mentioned, of course, on this video, my love for rolling decision schools too. There are a good number of very exciting and intriguing rolling decision colleges out there that would also potentially check a lot of your boxes. But even if you're not attracted to any rolling decision schools, which I'd love for you to apply to as early as August of your 12th grade year, early action is fine too. And there's nothing wrong with early action. So please, if you have a college list of 9 schools, not only, and let's say one of them is an early decision 1 school, you owe it to yourself to at least have 2, 3, maybe even 4 minimum early action schools on that list too. If they offer early action and you have a pulse in your senior year, there's no excuse for you not to get those applications out, in my opinion, early action. Of course, there are a couple excuses you could use, but I don't like them. One excuse would be, oh, I'm going to get the best grades of my life 12th grade year. Well, congratulations. I hope that happens for you. But in most cases, colleges that are looking at your early action, if you're in any way on the bubble in terms of their accepted student profile, they'll more likely just defer you to regular, and you'll at least have the benefit of having gotten the application in early if you're not going to get accepted early action. So that's not really an excuse to me. Most colleges will try to give you the benefit of the doubt if you're really on the edge. If it was just one more quarter's worth of 1 month more semesters worth of grades that they needed to see that were exemplary, I don't think that in most cases that's going to be enough of a difference for them to outright reject you early action, whereas many of these colleges may just defer you to regular decision. Again, it's a case-by-case situation, but I don't like the excuses of why a student would say, oh, I need to apply regular decision to these schools and not early action. 99 times out of 100, those excuses don't pass muster with me. So early action is your friend. Even if you're applying early decision, try to keep the big picture view of things. You may be dreaming big at that early decision school, and you may even get into that early decision school, but you want to have insurance policies and insurance policies that come back to you well before regular decision insurance policies will. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. If you'd like to work with me one-on-one throughout the entire college admissions process, go to my website, which is collegemeister.com. Until next time, stay safe, stay well, and most importantly, stay stress-free throughout the entire college admissions process.